thing on?
Nearly 400,000 of you watched my last post on Taco Trump. I'm still digesting that. But what's important is that you shared it. You commented. You asked the right questions. And that means something. And I want you to know that I see it. Thank you. But we're just getting started. So let's go deeper. Now, the number one comment from that last post was, what can we do about it? You're not going to like this, but I need to answer this honestly. The SEC investigates market manipulation. The SEC is run by a man named Paul Atkins, Trump's handpicked chair, confirmed April 2025. He personally holds up to $6 million in cryptocurrency. He launched something called Project Crypto. Remember that? He is not investigating Donald Trump. The DOJ could open a criminal case. The DOJ is run by Pam Bondi, and as I mentioned in an earlier post, the Trump Foundation in 2013 donated $25,000 to Bondi's reelection campaign while her office was reviewing fraud complaints against Trump University. Now, Florida never opened an investigation. Trump later settled that fraud case for $25 million. Now Bondi runs the Department of Justice. She is not investigating Donald Trump. Now, Congress could hold hearings. Republicans hold both chambers, so they're not holding hearings. Truth is, the referees were appointed by the guy committing the foul. That's not me being cynical. That's the fucking structure. Now, for those of you who commented, okay, market manipulation, how do I cash in on this too? I get it. I really do. You're being robbed and you want something back. But more bad news. Here's why you can't, and this is really important. A $1.5 billion bet was placed on the stock market 5 minutes before Trump posted Monday morning. 5 minutes, one move, $1.5 billion in S&P 500 futures bought, $192 million in oil futures sold. Senator Chris Murphy saw it and posted, and I'm quoting directly here, quote, $1.5 billion, bigger than any futures purchase at the time, 5 minutes before Trump's post. Who was it? Trump? A family member? A White House staffer? This corruption is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing corruption, end quote. Now, by the time you opened your app that morning, it was already done. Institutions have servers physically sitting inside the stock exchange itself. They execute in milliseconds. Your phone takes longer to unlock. And even if you had the information, between 35 and 40% of all US stock trading happens in private markets called dark pools. Those are spaces that retail investors cannot access or even see. The House didn't just rig the game. They built a separate casino and you are not allowed in. See, the game was never designed for you. And that's not an accident. That's the fucking architecture. So what can we do? What can we actually do? Well, here's what's real. Class action lawyers are already watching this. Senator Murphy's statement is on public record. The Financial Times documented the trades. The pattern is documented, and that matters legally. It's called precedence. And even if it feels slow, the wheels exist. They just need the pressure. And here's the pressure that actually works. Midterms. The House, the Senate, the people who looked at all of this and said, well, it's not my problem. They are on the ballot. The SEC chair is appointed by the president. The AG is appointed by the president. You want different referees? You need a different president. You want a different president? You need a different Congress first. I know it feels like it's out of our hands, but it's not completely. Your vote just doesn't pick a person. It changes the structure. Change the structure, change the referees. Change the referees, change the goddamn game. Look, don't take my word for it. Links in bio. Go ahead, take a look. All of it's verified. Every source is there. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's keep the momentum going. And remember, it may feel hopeless, but it's not. And you may not have power to do anything, but you do. You can vote. Well, someone was placing a $1.5 billion bet 5 minutes before Trump posted Monday morning, and many of you were sharing my last video asking who's cashing in. There was one number that was sitting in the Pentagon's briefing room. And that number is 290. As of today, 290 American service members have been wounded in this war. That's confirmed this morning by CENTCOM, the U.S. military's own central command. Not Iran, not a liberal news outlet, the fucking Pentagon. 290 real people in field hospitals across 7 countries: Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Israel. While the Dow was surging 1,000 points before breakfast, these men and women were screaming in pain. This fucking war started on February 28th, and nobody voted for it. There was no congressional authorization, no national debate. Trump announced it, and it started 25 days ago. And here's what you need to sit with. On the same morning, those 290 wounded Americans were waking up in military hospitals. Someone apparently had foreknowledge of what Trump was about to post and made $1.5 billion in 5 minutes. Now, I'm not saying those two things are connected. I'm saying they're happening, and they're happening at the same time under the same president. And the people who would normally investigate it, they were appointed by that president. 290 Americans wounded. And that number is going to be going up, and I'm going to be tracking it. On Friday, Trump's 5-day deadline expires. It's the same day energy markets close. I'm going to be here, you son of a bitch. Links in bio. Look, I know you can't unsee what they do or unhear what they say, but you can vote.